G'day guys, how are we? All hope we're all doing well. Picked some locks, so you know it. Don't forget to even hashtag it. Keep it bloody legal. So, as promised, I'm going to bring you the video on Deauthers and go through what they are, why I've got a couple of them, and what they have to do with, well, for me, is testing security products. A part of Locksport in a way for me. You know, I think of all security products, whether it be cameras or, you know, RFID, you name it, something like that. I find all of it, trying to find ways to defeat it and bypass it and stuff like that, interesting. To me, it all comes under Locksport in a way. You know, everyone has their own interpretation of what Locksport is, but I find all this stuff quite interesting as well, and I've been diving into it, as you know. So, what is a Deauther, pretty much? Well, if you don't know what it is, you shouldn't be playing around with one. This is what I actually read somewhere, and I do agree with that. But if you don't know what something is, how are you going to learn about it if you don't get one? If that makes sense. So, pretty much a Deauther is a device that you can use to attack Wi-Fi's and Wi-Fi products or devices that are connected to Wi-Fi's, and it's not a jammer, as some people call them. A jammer cannot be focused on one thing. It attacks everything within a certain radius, whereas, you know, a Deauthor has nothing to do with a jammer. So, you know, there is a big difference between the two. So, I have 3 Deauthers. You know, I've got 2 of the watches. This is the first one I ever got, which I've now given to Blaze. So this is the one here, and it's all open that you can see on the sides and everything. So they all do the same thing. So when it loads up, it's going to load up everything on here. So you can go through and it's got scan, select, attack, packet monitor, clock, and LED. Now with these ones, they don't continuously keep this right time. You have to reset the time every time you use it, and stuff like that. But pretty much what you do with these is you can scan, so you can go and scan through for APs and stations, APs or just stations. So pretty much your Wi-Fi routers that are putting out your signal and everything that is connected to them, so the devices. So if I go through and scan, it's going to find 3 APs and 8 stations so far. As it's scanning through, and now it's all done. So there's 9 devices that it has found. Now you can go through and you can select which one you want. Now I'm not going to actually show you the APs and the stations, because the stations actually come up as the MAC address for the devices. So anyone seeing the MAC address will be able to work out which it is and be able to hack the devices. So I'm not going to actually show you that, just personal reasons, but pretty much that's what you are doing here. So then you can go down, you can select which station you want to attack. Now, in saying that, you know, you only attack stuff that is yours. Do not attack anyone else's property, because it is illegal. So there's 3 attacks that you can actually do with the Deauthor. You have, and if I use my one here, I'll show you. So you have Deauth attack, a beacon attack, a probe attack. So you have 3 attacks that you can actually do. Now, in order to actually use one of these, you have to select the station. You can attack the Wi-Fi itself, but normally, you know, you'd go for a station. So, for example, like I was testing it with the security cameras that I have here. So what I did was I found the MAC address for the webcam, or not the webcam, but my Wi-Fi camera. And you use the watch or the monster that I've got here, the big one, in conjunction with the app that you get. Well, not an app, but the computer-based software that it works with, and I'll go through all that in a minute, which I've got sitting right here. So you find which ones are connected to what network or what Wi-Fi router. So, for example, I could just select a random one. It could be something here in my house, or it could be in my next door neighbours. I don't know unless I look at which Wi-Fi it's actually connected to through the software on my phone or on the tablet, which I've got the Monster set up for. But for example, let's say I want to attack the Wi-Fi camera that I have, the security camera. So I can deauthorize that device or deauthor that device, which means I can stop it from connecting to the Wi-Fi. Now it needs Wi-Fi in order to be able to send the signal through to the monitor, to be able to see it, what's going on. If I attack that with a deauthor attack, so if I go back and was to select the deauthor attack on that device, I can then disconnect that camera from the Wi-Fi and I can get in and out and no one can see me because it is disconnected that device from the Wi-Fi for as long as I have that attack running. Now, in saying that, you have to know exactly which MAC address it is and how to attack it. So what it does is it sends a deauth notification to it, or a deauth package, I should say, and it will keep sending it. So every time it tries to connect to the Wi-Fi, the device that you're attacking, it gets told to disconnect and disconnect for a reason. It's not authorized in a way to connect to the Wi-Fi until you stop it, and then it will reconnect. The other one is a beacon attack where you can send out fake Wi-Fis. For example, I've got a heap set up here, so if I go to select and I go down to the SSIDs, these are all fake Wi-Fi routers, if you want to call it that. So I've got undercover vehicle 1, undercover vehicle 2, just names of, it comes up as, if you look on your device, your phone or anything like that, you hold on to your Wi-Fi button, it comes up with Wi-Fi and all these, devices around, or routers around you that you can connect to. It comes up with all these different names. So it sends out all these packages that have these, random Wi-Fi addresses that are everywhere. You can also clone someone's AP. So, for example, if you wanted to confuse somebody, say you have a Wi-Fi address that says, undercover vehicle 1 is your actual Wi-Fi address. Then I can actually clone that and copy it 8 times and send out 8 of the exact identical looking Wi-Fis, and you don't know which one is which to connect to, which is that other form of attack. The other one you can do is the other attack is a probe, and where it sends out and asks devices to try and connect to those stations. It's a way to confuse trackers and stuff like that. So I'll actually go through it because it explains it all in here. So once you get your device and you've connected it all up to your actual tablet or your phone, so I've got it here. So when it puts out its own Wi-Fi signal, so mine's actually connected as base station. So it's connected to normal Wi-Fi. If I go base station, it will connect to that, which is actually this one here. I'll turn that one off now, which is integrated protection. So I've actually got it connected now. So this is base station, has no internet access, but this actually puts out a Wi-Fi signal. So I'm connected to that. So let's go into this. So in order to go into it, you've got to put in the right address for it, and then go all the way down so that I've read and understood the notice above, which just tells you the warnings. So now it comes up with the Wi-Fi addresses and the stations and stuff that is all connected to it, and what's what. So let's go across to SSIDs, and this is where you can program all your fake Wi-Fi signals. So I've got, for this one here, I've got top secret security, free Wi-Fi, hidden network, undercover surveillance station, just random ones that I put in there for the beacon attack and the probe attack and stuff like that. So another cool thing that you can actually do with this is you can communicate with another person and no one would really know. It's untraceable. Phone companies and stuff can trace your text messages. You can actually send messages to another person and communicate with someone that has a deauthor like the one I wear all the time, or has a monster like this. This is the V6 or version 6 with the 8 dB aerial, and it runs off an 18650 battery that actually keeps real time. Or one like this here, you can actually communicate with another device. So you can send out a probe attack. They can actually pick it up on theirs and read. When you have these SSIDs, you can set up to, I think it's 36 letters. You can actually write a sentence out on here and then send it out to another person. They can read it and then do it back to you. So you can, communicate through fake Wi-Fi signals, which, not many people walk around looking on their phone to see what Wi-Fi, connections are available around them. So you can actually communicate like that, which is kind of cool. It's like a little secret hidden way of communicating. And then you can go through to the attacks. So once this connects back to here, because it keeps wanting to connect to the normal Wi-Fi, because, it's normal Wi-Fi. So if you go through, it's wanting to connect to my normal Wi-Fi because there's no internet access. So you can go through your attacks, select which ones you want, and start and stop. So you can control this device here off your phone or your tablet. So it says here, Deauthers closes the connection of Wi-Fi devices by sending deauthentication frames to access points and client devices you selected. This is only possible because a lot of devices don't use the 802.11w 2009 standard that offers a protection against this attack. Please only select one target. When you select multiple targets that run on different channels and start the attacker will quickly switch between those channels, and you have no chance to reconnect to the access point that hosts the interface, which means this here. The beacon packets are used to advertise access ports or points. By continuously sending beacon packets out, it will look like you created new Wi-Fi networks, which is what I was saying. You can specify the network names under SSIDs. And probe requests are sent by client devices to ask if a known network is nearby. Use this attack to confuse Wi-Fi trackers by asking for networks that you specify in the SSID list. It's unlikely you will see any impact by this attack with your home network. So that explains what I pretty much was just telling you with these attacks that you can actually do. And as I said, you can go through and communicate with other people and stuff like that. Now, I won't connect to anything, and I'm not going to show you all the actual. I'm just connected again. It's connected to the normal Wi-Fi. I'm not going to show you all the, MAC addresses and everything for stuff around here, only because I don't want other people hacking my stuff. That's not me, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to close this tab. Close all, yes. So for example, if I wanted to disconnect my tablet or my son's tablet, if he doesn't listen, I can disconnect his tablet from the Wi-Fi so he can't play games online and stuff like that by using these devices. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the bloody difference between this one, and this one, and why do I have three of them? Well, the first one I bought was this, and it does work. She works bloody well. But I wasn't sure if this one was going to arrive in time, so I ended up buying another one, which was actually an upgraded version to this, which I didn't actually realise at the time. Both of them run exact same setup, pretty much, just the actual layout and interface of this one compared to the actual one by D-Stike, the Deauthers Watch Mini, is different. So when I turn this one on, it comes up with the ESP8266 watch, which is what chip it uses, the board in it, to create Wi-Fi signal and attack everything. Whereas this one has a completely different interface when it actually loads up. It scans when you first come on, so the actual program itself is different. The other cool thing you can do with these, which I actually find really bloody interesting, is packet monitoring. So you can go through, and I sit there and just watch the amount of data. So, for example, if I was to send this mat right here that you can see as an image across the Wi-Fi, across the internet to another person, another device. It's too big to send on its own, so what it does is it turns it into packets, which is, little bits of data, fixed, amount of information in a way. So imagine I'm going to send this, and all these little squares that, all the markings on here, each one of these is a packet. So you can actually monitor how many packets are flying around on all the different channels that there are. So there's 14 channels that these actually go through. So channel 11, you can actually see right now the amount of packets of data that's being transferred around on it. And you can go all the way through and you can monitor different channels. Usually here, channel 1 is normally the busiest. So you can see all, and actually gives you a nice graph of the amount of data that's actually being, or packets that's being transferred, around the air around you. So it's actually quite interesting to see. The other cool thing about these is you get a little LED light, so if you need a torch on you, you get actually quite a little powerful LED light on these ones, and everything's controlled by the toggle switch just here. So I, as I said, bought an upgraded one. This one comes with a 3D printed case. Pretty much identical. This still has the torch, the light, except the light's on this side. Has on and off switch, reset switch, and the same toggle to control everything. But these only have a small range. Close by, the house, next door neighbours, maybe just across the road it will pick up. It doesn't have a big range. For that, you need something with a more powerful aerial. Now you can actually buy these that have aerials as well that you can put in to extend the range on them, but a lot of them are moving to these upgraded boards which actually have a built-in aerial to them, which is a little bit just here that you can actually see sticking out just there. So they got built-in aerials into them these days, which is the upgraded version. So I ended up buying the Monster. So the D-Stock Monster. This is the version 6 OLED. So this one, as I said, runs off an 18650 battery. Does have the 8 dB aerial, so I can make, or actually scan, for APs and stations. It will actually find more than what my watch will, because this actually picks up a wider range. So, bigger aerial, bigger distance. So I can actually transmit over a bigger distance as well, and attack a device from a greater distance than this watch here. APs 4, stations 11, whereas before this one didn't pick up that many. The only thing I had to do with this was, in order to get the maximum usage out of the aerial, I had to remove a little resistor that is sitting right next to the aerial port. So I had to desolder and remove that. The other thing, as I said, with this one, you can still get the packet monitor. So you can go through all 14 channels and monitor the amount of packets that are going around, which is kind of cool to sit there and watch. This one actually keeps the real-time display as well, as long as you're running the 18650 battery. And it also, again, has the LED light, which is actually quite powerful down here. And this one actually has a battery readout, unlike these ones. This one, you can have about 3 hours continuous use, whereas this will last a lot longer. And actually gives you the LED lights on this side just here, give you your battery percentage readout. So, yep. Do they work? Yes, but what I didn't actually point out, they only work on 2.4 gigahertz. So anything that runs more than that, which a lot of things are 5G now, 4G and stuff like that, it won't. But a lot of your Wi-Fi doorbells with the cameras in them, the Wi-Fi cameras like I've got, thermostats, lights, stuff like that, the Wi-Fi controlled lights, you can actually attack them with devices like this. Tablets, a lot of things still here in Australia and that run off 2.4 gigahertz. So they're still susceptible to attacks like these. Just don't go using these near hospitals or airports or anywhere you shouldn't be bloody using them. Don't attack anything you don't have permission. Use it to test your own devices. I use this for, attacking my own cameras to test them when I first got them in. and these devices, and for sending out, I'll send out beacons out and about, see if anyone's around, we can communicate. It's another reason why I gave Blaze this one, so that we can actually communicate through these if we don't want anyone knowing what we're talking about, and stuff like that. So they're actually quite a lot of fun to play around with, and quite dangerous in the wrong hands. But that is the Deauthers. Little device, simple little process to them, but can be very, very powerful and dangerous in the wrong hands. So the difference, as I said, the watch, smaller range, it still works bloody well, great for portability. I wear it, don't even notice I've got it on, just like wearing a smartwatch. Whereas the Monster, it's bigger, it's bulkier, but you get a bigger range, longer lasting battery, and you can attack or send out beacons at a greater distance. So, you can send out a private message to anyone around that has one of these in a bigger radius and stuff like that, using one of these compared to the watch. But that's the main differences with them. Do I like them? Hell yes. I love going around. I'll sit there in the car out front of shops and stuff and just watch the amount of data that gets sent around. It's actually quite amazing to see it all. But anyway, that's pretty much it, how they work and what they're good for. Price ranges of these. That one I got for, I think it was about $36. Postage was under that for this one. This one was a little bit more. It was about $50, I believe it was. So, the prices range. The Monster, that was closer to $60 for the price of this one, because it is bigger. But, they all range between, you can pick them up anywhere from $20 to $60 or more. I've seen it go for more than that, depending on what your price range, your budget, and what you want it for. But if you don't know what they're for and you don't know what you're doing, don't attack anything you shouldn't, because you may have the, not the Wi-Fi police, but your provider company contacting you because it sends out a big blackout signal in your area. No wonder what the hell's going on. So, they are dangerous, but they're very fun to play around with and very handy, and can be used for, some spy games or sending private messages. So anyway, there we go. Deauthers. Did promise it, and I've given it to you. Always follow the codes. Keep Locksport legal. You know it. Don't do anything bloody stupid. Don't forget, come and join us on Discord, the Extraordinary League of Pickers. Links in the description. Don't forget, you're looking for some Doubt merch, and get it at Teespring. Link in below. Don't forget, great equipment at very affordable prices. Don't forget to check out locksmithstoolbox.com. There's a link to them in the description down below as well. Don't forget, if you want to get in contact with me, contact me through any of the social medias on my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Want to chat about the authors or anything like that, hit me up, send me a message, or email me, darkartslockpicking@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you. If you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up. I really do bloody appreciate it. Help get this channel out there and grow it more. And until next time, cheers.